notes. Did you turn on the camera?
Yeah, it's running.
It's running? Are you going to edit this part out?
Yeah.
You're not. You're going to keep it on.
We'll see. All right, we're back again at Origins 2024 for another 15-minute game jam. I've got Robert Turk here, got Blonia, Purgatory House, Wicked Clever Games is your company.
Yeah, it is.
Robert usually has a very long design process, and yet somehow I've twisted him into making a 15-minute game. So, Robert, start the timer. We're going to make a game.
Boom, the timer has started. We have 14 minutes and 58 seconds.
Great. So, we've been given a something here, a possible...
Something that somebody random said we were supposed to use.
We got snails.
Oh, okay, we're making a snail game.
We're making a
snail game. All right.
We got cards, we got dice,
right.
We got paper if we want to do stuff. So, what does snails make you think of?
My immediate thought is snail racing.
That does seem
right.
That seems a thing.
I don't. Are we making a role playing game or are we making a?
Either way, we can make whatever game we want. We're both role playing game folks.
We are both role playing games.
It might make sense to do a role-playing game.
Yeah.
There are colored snails, though. Like you say, snail racing is pretty...
Snail racing. These three don't match.
Yeah.
They're on their own. Oh, wait. Nope. Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of snail capabilities.
There are.
I mean battle snails. Like, is this like an army thing?
Oh, they fight each other. I was thinking like it was a racetrack game, and then you roll the dice or use the cards to shuffle for position, but... that seems like it's probably already been done.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Dead air is terrible.
So let's think about what other elements. If we go for what other narrative, if the race is central to the thing, whatever this is, whatever the snails are doing is central to the thing. What other periphery? Are these the characters then? If we're doing role-playing stuff, what narrative elements do we need?
Yeah, I think we should make a role-playing game. I think we should abandon the idea of this is a board game sort of. Let's do a role-playing game.
Okay.
Are
we breeding racing snails then? Is that like our jobs as characters? Do we have like
yeah.
Potentially your characters are all the parts that needed to do the...
You want to make this like a cozy game?
We can do cozy.
We can do cozy. Like, I don't normally do cozy. I normally do horror or...
You did cozy with
horror.
Yeah. Let's try for cozy.
Bait and switch.
Let's try for cozy.
Like, there's those games like where you're running a tavern or you got
so we got a snail farm.
We got a snail farm for racing snails. Not for eating snails.
Yeah.
Although
okay. I like this. So
maybe that's the bad guys. Is they're the ones that want to eat the snails.
Okay. So classic role playing game. So we've got general thing. The classic role playing game is like what is the tension and or resource mechanic.
Right. There has to be
determines. Because otherwise it's just a storytelling activity.
Right. A game has to like there has to be conflict. Conflict drives the action, which makes it a game.
Right. So what is that, and how will we simulate it with some sort of physical object or whatever?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? I came up with snails.
Well, great. So, you've played with cards. You know cards.
I do know cards.
So let's go with the playing cards.
Okay, playing cards.
So this got the Jokers.
You've got some playing card stuff too now.
I do. We got playing cards, but I know you also like playing cards. This is the set. We got the Jokers here. The eye is the Jack.
So the conflict here, I think there's an inherent conflict of if we are trying to cozy games don't necessarily have to have a conflict.
That's true.
They slice of life.
But
it's
a storytelling thing. So if the suits of the cards are elements of our cozy life, then you get a hand of cards, and that's what you're contributing to the coziness. And it's more like a sequence. It's more about the sequence of playing the cards.
Yeah.
So if we divide these back out into the suits, or is it number, or maybe.
Well, numbers is so there's 13.
Yeah.
Right. You can go to 13 once you count
Right.
Or we go to 4s. Right.
So what I was thinking, have you played the Mind? Do you know the Mind?
I don't know the Mind.
Okay.
I know the box.
So you have to play the cards in sequence in the Mind.
Okay.
So and it's like 1 to 100 or something, 0 to 100 or something like that. So what if that's it? So we got 13 cards. That would be like a perfect day on the farm if we played 1 through 13.
Yeah. Okay.
But we don't necessarily have those cards, so it's like we got to go back and forth, and like I've got a card that, and if I play the 2, and then you don't have a 4 or 5, and you've played a 5 next, like that's less than a perfect
day.
But
Right.
but then maybe I had a 4, but I was waiting for you to play the 3, and
So now
it's
your 4's no good.
Right, so the 4's been skipped. So then there's
4's been skipped.
so that's like a story of the day, and then there's sort of opportunity costs because of that, and that's sort of we would narrate out the story, and then
Right. Okay, so there's a gap between these two cards. Just I'm looking at mechanics right now. So there's a gap of 3, right? Which to me says there's 3 points or 3 negative points.
Okay.
And so that at the end of the day, we didn't get a perfect day. We've got these negative points that we have to deal with bad stuff that happened on the farm. Right, and if it's too much bad stuff, like our cozy, and now I'm going to say our snails died, right? Or we got raided by the wow, I feel like we've committed to this idea, and now I don't like it.
We're too late.
Too late, right?
Time's already happened.
I know.
So there's goblin raiders or whatever, and they do want to eat the snails.
They want to eat the snails.
Yeah.
Right.
They're rustling our snails.
Yes. Can we say they're French? Because the French eat snails, or is that we don't do that anymore in game design?
I mean,
yeah.
I think we
don't do
we
that.
can call them goblins.
We'll just call them goblins. They all speak with French accents in my world.
That's, I think, perfectly fine.
Because they're chefs, not because they're French.
Sure.
Right? And French is the language of chefs.
So I think 5 is a good number.
5 is a great number.
And that will potentially add up to 10, but we know we're not going to...
Okay.
You're never going to have maybe you're never going to have a perfect day.
Right.
But this minus thing, we'll figure out that let's do some narration a little bit and see how this kind of plays.
Okay.
And then we can kind of think about what the gaps and
and I think
this at the end.
The suits should lead some of the narration there.
Yeah.
Like, because if I just say, I got an ace. Okay, well, what is an ace?
Why don't we do it, and why don't you tell us what each time we do a new suit? All
right. Well, I'm going to write some stuff down because we got. What are our suits? Spades, hearts, clubs
and
diamonds. And I did that backwards. It should be diamonds and then clubs. Because we do it in reverse alphabetical order.
That's probably. These particular cards are like food, stone, knowledge, and wild are these actual cards for Tenebria. That's what they are.
So food, stone, wild, and knowledge.
Resources.
These are resources.
Clubs is knowledge. I'm showing you my hand. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Food is the hearts, and resources are the spade, and then the diamond.
Yeah. Well, I think spade in this. It's farming. You're digging, right?
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Great. So you got the ace of spades. Lay it down there.
So we got the ace of spades.
Short narrative scene.
Short narrative scene. For our slug farm, I'm thinking worms, but I'm guessing slugs are kind of like worms. They just have a thing on the back, a shell on their back. So we have to
kind of like worms.
They're kind of like worms with a shell on their back. So we
Most
have
living
to.
things are kind of like worms.
We start out in the morning, like on our snail farm, and we've got to till the dirt. We got to make sure they got good. Rate. I was gonna say
because they've been out there all night, like walking over it or slugging over it.
Right. So we spend the morning like smoothing it out, making sure they've got. So then you would want to play a 2?
Ideally a 2.
Or could you play another ace?
I don't know. I think I was going to play this card.
Okay, play that card. Let's see what it is.
So that's a 4.
That's way up there.
I got the hand I got.
Okay,
hearts.
Got the hand I got. Hearts.
I think
Go ahead.
I think that is the care, the actual
taking care of them because we love our snails.
We love our snails.
We love our
snails. Actual maintenance of the all the like the way you have to groom a horse, and brush its coat and all that kind of
groom
stuff.
a snail. You probably have a toothbrush.
Oh yeah, and there's probably get stuff up into the shell and all that kind of stuff. So it's a thing. So that was my play.
All right, so we're grooming the snails.
Grooming the snails.
That's a 4.
It's a 4.
Okay, I can do a 6. I don't know what suit this is.
That's the diamond.
Oh, I see it on the outside now. Diamonds has got to be like money.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to buy stuff.
You got to buy stuff for these snails. And since we're a racing snail farm, not an eating snail farm, goggles. We gotta buy them some new goggles and 6. We gotta buy them. Yeah, so we buy them some goggles and some paint, some snail paint to put racing stripes on the side. So our snails are looking good. Like we got them in their new outfits and stuff.
And so then after they get their new racing stripes, then you want to get them out on the track because they're racing snails. You got to train them.
Yeah.
So we need to go back out to the dirt and get the track dug.
Oh yeah, go back out to the dirt. Yep.
To get out to the
so,
dirt, to get
yeah,
the
I like
track.
that. It's dirt instead of farming for the spade. Yeah.
And so that's a 7 of that suit. So like it's right.
Good. And we didn't lose anything.
We didn't
there.
lose anything there. This is good.
We're gonna lose a lot here.
So so we can either do this to get to the end of the game. We can accelerate with the cards we have, and then talk about what the negatives are.
Yeah. We got. I don't know. My timer keeps stop. 5 minutes.
Okay, so we could let's do one more.
Yeah. So I know
let's
I've
do
got
one more card each.
I've got to. So what I think here, what I'm noticing just in game design, is going back and forth forces us to skip numbers.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had a 6 and a 7, there might be a way that you could play those together to do like a combo.
Well, we have been nice in taking turns. The bringing back the mind, like that thing is like you're kind of like looking at the other person and like I've got another card that I can play. If you're not going to play it, then I'm going to play my card. Are you going to play your card? And then like somebody puts it
Would
down.
you have something lower than a 10? You have an 8 or a 9?
I don't have no.
Okay, so we got a 10.
I think that's a good card to play.
Harding 10. So I think one of our snail racers
I do have it.
is just.
I realize now I do have a 9.
Well, too late now.
Too late now.
I think one of our snail racers is.
My Roman numerals failed me.
He's having a bad day, right? He's just not. He's not out there. He's not feeling the spirit. So taking care of him. I think we have to send him off for a snail massage, and just get his mind back into the It's okay. Everybody has bad days.
Right.
Some of us have to design a game in 15 minutes, and there you go. So yeah.
And great. And then I've got one more of that same thing. I think this one being the high suit there is it's the same thing. It's a lesser treatment for all of the snails at the end of the day, but it is more work. That's higher card, so it's more work because it's a not the intense massage, but just the putting away of the snails at the end of the day,
right?
And kissing them right between their little eye stalks, kissing them goodnight. You know.
All right. Okay. Yes, but I'm gonna switch that around a little bit. Okay.
Sure.
I think it's before they go out and race.
Oh,
Like
you're building up to the,
you're kissing them and like, okay, you got this. It's like it's the pep before they go out and race because, and I only say that because I have the King of Diamonds, which seems like we just made a lot of money.
Ooh,
okay,
I'll take it. I like it.
I think our snails did excellent at this race.
Yeah.
And I think we took home the cup
because we did all the stuff.
Because we got a King of Diamonds. So we had some income there at the end.
So
looking at a couple of holes that we have here.
Yeah. I would say we've done it. We've played the game.
Yes.
We've made the game and we've played it.
Yeah.
So what would we iterate on? Well, we haven't decided what's. So the one question before we can iterate is what happens to the cards we still have in our hand? Is it we've skipped numbers? Maybe those don't matter. Maybe it's just the cards you've got left in your hand are.
Maybe it's the cards you have left in your hand that you couldn't do in sequence. I like that better.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a penalty to their emotions, to their heart, right? Because we've got a heart card left. I think these are penalties.
Okay. And I have the 9 of the spades.
So something happens,
which I thought was an 11. Which that's not how cards.
That's
work.
not how cards work.
I know. But you'd already played the 10 by the time I figured it out.
Right. And we never. So this was one of my things. We never defined what clubs were.
What didn't get played, so we didn't.
Right. So clubs racing clubs. But
like there's a racing club. Maybe this is like politics of.
Maybe that's the politics of the snail racing world.
The snail racing.
Yes.
World.
Okay.
Rival club.
So yes.
They're obviously, based on our narrative, they're jealous of our victory, and so like they're sort of like, oh, you guys, and like you know, whatever. There's a inherent like sort of not problem, but like there's going to be some sore losers.
There's going to be some sore losers that may try to sabotage our next race.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the next phase of this game is we've got these consequences on the table, right? We got to deal with we have to deal with the fact that there's something going on emotionally with our snails or one of our snails. I would love, since we've got these individual snails, I would love for each of these snails to develop their own personality.
Yeah.
And like we're taking care of these snails. It's not these abstract snails.
This is good.
It's
like
these
when you
snails.
were like the one needs the massage, it's like this one. This one needs the massage.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. That's a great.
Yeah.
That's a great.
And then so I see what's happened here because we've got some upset people, right? And I think the lower value cards are not as major. Yeah. But this is a pretty high card. Yeah. Upset, and they come and they sabotage our training, our training track, right? So we've got some snail rivals, a rival club, politics there that have come and sabotaged our training.
Put salt in the soil.
They salted our earth. which
Those jerks.
is not good for snails.
It's not good for snails.
Not good for snails.
Okay, so
We got 35 seconds.
yeah. So I think I love that. So these kind of become narrative. Maybe they don't mechanically. They don't necessarily mechanically matter, but narratively, these are the problems that we're going to face
Have
tomorrow.
to solve tomorrow in our story.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a game. We didn't really work in the chefs trying to eat them.
That's just a potential threat.
It's a potential threat.
Right.
Yeah.
So
This is the first draft. We can
This
iterate
is the first draft. This is
yeah.
this. So that's the question next. Like, what would be like
7 seconds.
Yeah. I think we designed a game in less than 15 minutes this time because we got to the end.
We got to the end, and our time is up.
Our time is up now. Okay, so now that the time is up and we've done this, like, there's what is this something that could be developed more? Like, does this excite you? What here that we're doing excites you as a game designer to do more of?
I love playing with cards. Like, just because cards give you like this way of playing with cards, which I know you said you're using the suits to mean different things in Tenebria. But this way of playing cards is unique. This is something you can do with cards that you'd have to have different color dice to do this. So I really like this is built into cards. And I've never done anything like this where the sequential order really matters.
Yeah.
So these two things excite me. I wish there was more of a threat, even though it's a cozy game.
Right.
I wish there was a little more of a visceral, like a reason to care about these snails. And I think giving these snails personalities, giving them some sort of character sheet, even if it's not a mechanical character sheet.
No,
I
like that.
I think we want to care about these snails.
Right, and I think there's you could definitely do character sheets for the snails. You could definitely also, if this is going to be your narrative row that you're always kind of coming back to, you could have some cards that aren't necessarily part of the set, like play cards that are like, these are like the big challenges that are going to be this season or whatever. We're always going to be coming back to this challenge. It's always going to be there. So you've got some major threats that are up here. These are just daily threats that got here because we couldn't play them in sequence, but there could be bigger cards that here.
Are we done designing, or can I throw something
We're officially done designing. We're talking about like what excites us. So it sounds like there's more that could be going to this game. So
because this is what I would love is if we could then, we have these cards in our hand instead of playing in our day. We would have to play them up here. It's got to be higher to solve that problem.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's, I mean, just talking about where we can go in the future. That's a way to move the play spaces around, and we've got different zones. So now it feels like this is Is it a marketable game? I mean, but is it a legit game? There's a game here. I think now there's a game here.
There's a game here. That's Robert. Thank you for designing a game with me.
Matt?
In 15 minutes.
All right.
There's a game here. Is a good result.
There's a game here. So which one of us is going to publish it?
So tell the viewers who've watched this video and hopefully enjoyed it where they can find you on the internet if they want to see the games that you took more than 15 minutes to design.
That I took years to make. Wicked-clever.com. That's my website. I'm also going to be on Nat 21 Adventures with some live plays of Veil, the Failed and Fallen.
Nice. Coming
Coming up in July and August in the Gen Con season. And then going to be on Rook and Rasp Series of Let's Play in September.
Nice. Playing Veil, the Failed and Fallen.
Veil, the Failed and Fallen, which is my next one, which will be going to Kickstarter. That's as much going to Kickstarter. I can't say when.
Excellent. When it's ready. When the time is right.
When the time is right. It's close. Very close.
All right. Thank you for joining us again for content from
Origins. We're at Origins.
We're at Origins. I keep wanting to say Gen Con. That's the two cons. Origins 2024. Thanks for watching.
All right. Look for snail racers coming to...
Snail racers from Wicked Clever.
in 2032. All right.